No, this is Mr. Hornsby 83 with my Mr. Hornsby 83 topics tonight. We'll be talking about the Halloween franchise, and pretty much I did a video about Halloween before, but it was the Halloween Returns trailer, which I just talked about how they could have had the Rob Zombie universe put into the thing, but now I'm going to talk about the original franchise, which started at, I believe, 1979 or so. I think the second one came out in 1980. The rest came out in the 80s. And I also talked about 3 a little, so I'll try not to talk about 3 too much in this one. But first Halloween movie was one of my favorites. I like that one, and I like 4. Pretty much 2 was okay. 5 was okay. But pretty much I think the franchise is kind of, gotta be the top franchise in the horror genre, period, because no matter what generation it is, Halloween should be at the top. That's pretty much what put horror movies on the map. There may not have been a Friday the 13th or a Nightmare on Elm Street without Halloween being successful. And I mean, the movies are just so great, so well done. Except for later installments, which, after 5, 6 was okay. Which also, that was, I believe, the introduction of Paul Rudd, who you can now see as Ant-Man. But, I mean, it made a lot of character, it made a lot of stars, The one that played, what was her name? Not Linda. Yeah, the one that played Linda, she went on to do movies with Bill Murray and that. Jamie Lee Curtis' career took off after Halloween. Paul Rudd got notoriety from when he was in Halloween 6, which was Curse of Halloween. Jamie Strode, I can't remember her real name right now. I usually do know it. But her career kind of took off too after she did Halloween 4 and 5. And pretty much 4, 5, and 6 was pretty much based on the Thorn organization that Michael Myers apparently was working for, which sounds like a plot from an anime, but apparently Thorn, that group was calling out to Michael Myers to kill, and Michael Myers did killing, and the whole thing, well, how it was explained in part 2, because they explain it a little bit in part 2, Loomis does, they explain that Thorn has you kill your family first, and then you kill others, and this and that, But, there was a lot of, I guess you could say, Illuminati references in this, references to, evil organizations and that, which, like I said, they didn't get to that top 4, 5, and 6. I mean, and speaking of 3, I think that was part of the plan. Maybe that's what John Carpenter had planned when he did 3. It was like, oh, these guys are the guys that are behind Thorn. But, I don't know, for whatever reason they didn't do that storyline. I think it might have made 3 a better movie. May have made it a little more canon to the rest of the Halloween movies, because, all the Halloween movies are pretty much canon to each other. I mean, in a way you could say H2O isn't, because 1, the original storyline in 5 was Laurie Strode died in a car accident, but in H2O she said, I faked my death to hide from my brother. And it's funny how in H2O, Laurie never mentions her daughter Jamie. And if she was alive all the time, why did she not go get Jamie and save Jamie when Jamie needed her? It made no sense to me why they would do that storyline in H2O if they had no plans for her to even interact with Jamie. It just, because at the beginning of 6, Jamie dies, and Michael Myers is basically going after the family that's related to the people that adopted Laurie. And Paul Rudd, as an older Tommy Doyle, was there to protect him. We also see Lindsay in 4, who seemed like she didn't suffer too much from freaking that terrifying night in part 1. Unless it was a different Lindsay, but... pretty much, there was a lot of things about the Halloween franchise that were inconsistent. There was a lot of things that, a lot of storylines that they could have put in some of these movies to make them a little bit better, but I still think Halloween is a great horror franchise. It's, like I said, had it not been for the success of Halloween, we may not see Friday the 13th remade. We may not see Nightmare on Elm Street and Child's Plays and all that inspired. I mean, heck, we probably wouldn't even have seen the Scream franchise, because the Scream franchise was basically pretty much inspired by Halloween. There's even a point where a couple times when they asked people what their favorite scary movie was, people made references to the Halloween franchise. One of them was, her favorite movie was Halloween with Michael Myers, and then another one was, some big-breasted babysitter who runs up the stairs instead of running out the door. Direct reference to Halloween. So yeah, I mean, like I said, the Halloween franchise, one of the best franchises out there in horror. I think they could have did some things better with it, especially with 3, because the way 3 was made was just, pretty bad. I don't mind watching 3. One movie I cannot tolerate in the Halloween franchise is Resurrection. I cannot tolerate it. I tolerate 3. I can tolerate H2O. I cannot tolerate Resurrection. I went to see it with my wife one time, and she had to stop me from walking out on that movie because I about walked out on it. And I've never walked out on any kind of movie. Whenever I've seen a movie, I watched it all the way through. But Halloween Resurrection, I was just about to walk out and say, screw this freaking movie. It sucks. It's the worst Halloween ever. I don't care what people say about the remakes because they were way better than Resurrection. That's for a fact. Which, I'm going to get to those right now. The Rob Zombie remakes, which, my opinion, I thought was good. I think he did a better job at giving Michael Myers more of a backstory than what the original ones did, because from what you could tell from the original first one, Michael Myers was pretty much a well-off rich kid, But in Halloween, Rob Zombie version, he's in a broken home. Their father had passed away. Everybody was treating him bad except for his mom and his baby sister, who couldn't treat him bad because she was a baby. She was pure. And I think that's why Michael Myers loved her so much. And in fact, in the first Rob Zombie remake, he really didn't want. I don't even think he really wanted to kill her. Because he could have killed her if he wanted to, but he just kept showing her the picture, seeing if she remembered that she was his sister. Which, that didn't happen because she didn't remember. She didn't even realize until the second one, midway through the second one, that she was Michael Myers' sister. And she was pretty upset about it. I think Tyler Mane played a good Michael Myers. He had his mask off a little too much, and you've seen his face too much, which I didn't like that because, you didn't see Michael Myers' face much in the original franchise. You only seen it like maybe 1 or 2 times at the end of 1 and then around the end of 5. But, and, like I said, I think with the way they ended the second one, which they did an alternate one where apparently Dr. Loomis dies, Laurie dies, and Michael Myers dies, so maybe that was their way of saying, yep, there's no more going to be made in this universe, which I think would be a big mistake because they could capitalize on what the other 2 did, and despite what people say about how they suck, they still apparently they did pretty decent in the box office for them to get 2 sequels, and that, but honestly, I still think the return should be based in the Rob Zombie universe. And, then some way they might make the alternate ending uncanny. And something I think they could have did with the original 3 is, which they kind of did it with H2O, but what they could have did is something they did with Friday the 13th Part 5, which was, either some kind of person was a killer that was using Michael Myers' MO or whatnot. And it turned out it was just some rageful father who saw his son get killed. But, you could have had Laurie in that. I don't know why Jamie Lee didn't do the third one, why she didn't come back for 4 or 5. I don't know. Maybe she was just too big of a star by then, or they didn't pay her enough. I don't know. The only one that was really consistent in the movies, except for 3, was Donald Pleasant as Loomis. And he was up until 6, which he passed away, I guess, like around the time 6 came out or whatnot. But, would he have been an H2O? I don't know. Which, I'll have a theory about that sometime next week before I do my next topic video, which will be about the Saw franchise. But, pretty much, I think what they could have did in 3 originally is they could have had Laurie kind of tumbling, going crazy after all the stuff she went through 1 and 2, and she was seeing visions of Michael Myers everywhere, and then something happens where a guy's like, oh, I'm just going to mimic Michael Myers, and, but I guess they didn't want to rip off Jason too much, so maybe they could have did something like maybe some evil organization was behind something. I don't know, but, they, pretty much, and then they could have led to Laurie's car wreck at the end, but, they didn't do that, and I gotta say, I think Halloween 3 would have been a better movie if they did that, if they took elements from H2O, but, who knows, maybe Laurie went so crazy that she ended up killing herself, and ended up killing herself in a car wreck because she regretted what she did. I don't know, but, I guess I'll end this video. I don't got too much more to say. I've talked about all the Halloween movies. How much I hated 7, how much I liked the remakes, despite what other people thought of them. But please like this video. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the Halloween franchise. Let me know what you thought of the remakes. Let me know anything you think about, anything Halloween related or any of the past topic videos I talked about. Follow me on my on my Facebook fan page, Mr. Hornby 83 Topics. Follow me at Twitter at Mr. Hornby 83. And until tomorrow night when I do my prediction for the Patriots-Colts game, because that's the only game I'm picking this week. Peace out.